welcome to my salon. I wasn't expecting company. I've just been reading H.G. Wells's The Invisible Man. But now that I have company, I guess we'll have a chat. Now, what exactly are you doing here? Hello? Who is it?
I'm you, but with no body and a deeper voice.
Oh, I see. What are you doing here?
I'm here to tell you that Stacia from I Soiled My Planties has tagged you in the Truthful Planttuber Tag.
Well, thank you very much, I Soiled My Planties. I suppose we'd better get to it then. Do you have some questions for me?
I most certainly do.
Excellent. Yes, hello and welcome. On Scott Grows an Avocado Tree, usually I document the process of growing an avocado tree from seed to the point of bearing fruit, but I feel much obliged to participate in this Truthful Planttuber Tag. So let us begin. What is my first question?
Question 1. Have you ever received a plant-related product, tried it, and decided not to review it?
No, I've never received a product and decided not to review it, partly because I've never received a product. You see, on Scott Grows an Avocado Tree here, we are still a very small channel. I actually have a slightly larger following on Instagram where somebody has offered me a product. However, when they found out my location was Australia and it would cost more than the value of the product to get the product to me, they decided that we didn't need to go down that avenue. So I have not received any free trial things to review, but that may change in the future, and you will know. I'm not going to do things secretly here when that happens. What is my second question?
Question number 2. Plant accessory that you use but never show on camera.
An accessory that I use but don't show on camera. I have a number of spray bottles. I have a large 5-litre knapsack and I've got a few 1-litre hand squirters as well. I use these with chemicals on my garden. I'm not opposed to using chemicals in my garden, and of course I say that knowing that everything in my garden, including myself, is made up of chemicals. But I am not opposed to using chemicals when appropriate to control for weeds, fungus, and whitefly that loves to eat my potatoes and tomatoes. And that's something which I use in my garden a few times a year, but it's not something that I show you on camera.
Question number 3. Plant accessory you'd like to buy, but won't because the brand is shady.
In the plant world, there aren't any brands which I try to avoid at this point. I generally am able to find what I'm looking for, and I don't look at the brands too much. However, if we think more broadly, there are certainly some brands which I try to avoid, especially when their shadiness moves into infringing upon others' human rights. That is something which I do not want to support, and so I try to shop and purchase things in a way which is friendly to not just the environment but to the world.
Question number 4. Do you have any blocked words on your channel?
No, there are no blocked words on Scott Grows an Avocado Tree, but mostly because I haven't needed to. The audience in this community is really kind, wholesome, and wonderful, and I consider it a privilege to be a part of it.
Question number 5. Do you delete comments? If yes, why?
Only accidentally. Now, I'm not opposed to removing comments, especially if they are trolling or if they're wildly inaccurate or just being nasty, but I haven't needed to. There was one comment which I accidentally deleted when I was replying to another comment, but accidentally posted that reply under the comment which was to be deleted accidentally. I then got flustered, and instead of removing just my comment, I removed the whole of the comment thread, and there's no undo button for that. So if that is you, if you notice that I commented on your post and then on your comment, if I commented on your comment and then when you went to check that it was gone, I apologize, I made a mistake.
Question number 6. Have you ever blocked anyone?
No.
Question number 7. What is a plant you're fed up with?
A plant that I am fed up with? Blackberries. Now, I know that this question is targeted more at the plants that I own, particularly houseplants. However, I am going to interpret it how I like. And blackberries are one mighty weed, and they seem to be able to get everywhere, and they are really hard to kill. I was in New Zealand recently, and even there, in beautiful national parks, in a wide open place where you could see mountains everywhere, there were blackberries popping up all over the place, and they're really hard to get rid of. I've killed a few in my time. I don't like to touch them because they have these mighty thistles, thorns, and I am fed up with them. Blackberry, blackberry. Blackberry, 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 blackberry. Blackberry, 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 blackberry. They're everywhere. Weeds, blackberry, 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 blackberry.
Question number 8. Whose channel do you gravitate to for the most information on something?
That is a great question. He doesn't upload so much these days, but I have watched a lot of OYR, Frugal and Sustainable Organic Gardening, here on YouTube. He is a gardener, not really a plant tuber, but it's just fantastic watching him manage his garden, discussing the things that he's learning, discussing the things that he's trying out, and I highly recommend it. There is a link to his channel in the description below.
Question number 9. Whose channel do you gravitate to for a good laugh?
The video that comes to mind immediately is Ants in My Plants, What If Plants Were People video. It was a little skit, and it was very good. I highly recommend it. There is a link in the description to that video as well. Otherwise, I always have a good chuckle when I visit What the Flock Farm with Brad. He is just very funny. He's very wholesome. You should go and watch his videos if you don't already, but I'm sure you already do. There is a link to his channel in the description below in case you have never heard of him, which would be a shame. But I'm sure you're about to fix it.
Question number 10. Someone you'd like to meet IRL that is a plant tuber.
Now, here in Melbourne, there are not many plant tubers around. I am a very long distance from the nearest plant tubers as far as I am aware. So really, meeting anybody would be a real treat. But just saying everyone or anyone, I think that's a bit of a cop-out. So if I had to pick one person, the first person who comes to mind is Nikki from Plants, Pots and Whatnots. I think I'll have to travel up to Canada and sit with her in her magnificent plant room. And that sounds good.
Question number 11. Number 1 plant on your wish list right now.
I've spoken about this already in my Plant Plans 2020 tag, but I'll speak about it again. The number 1 plant on my wish list is the Wallamai pine, a native plant to Australia, which was thought to be extinct for many years, but was discovered fairly recently. However, I'm not sure if I'll be getting one this year. They are not easy to look after as they are very, very particular plants. They've really adapted to this one particular setting in New South Wales in Australia, and they haven't done very well elsewhere. Most of the plants that are around, the Wallamai pines that are around, are grown from cuttings, and so there's not a lot of genetic diversity either. So I have a lot more to learn before I eventually get a Wallamai pine.
Question number 12. If you could collab with one plant tuber, who would it be?
All of them. And that is possible through the magic that is the internet. And we have done a small collaboration with 13 plant tubers last December. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. And you should certainly be watching this space for December this year. But if I was to pick one YouTuber, one plant tuber, I would want your brains to melt at the combination of accents. I would pick Svetlana from Firefly in the Room. She is hilarious. I love watching her videos, and I think that would be fun.
Question number 13. Soil or Leca?
Soil, but I'm keen to try Leca at some point. I think that growing things hydroponically or aquaponically is really interesting, and I'm keen to give it a go at some point.
Question number 14. Name one person in another country you'd love to collab with.
Any YouTuber from another country? Well, I think I'd have to pick either Michael Stevens from Vsauce or Dirk from Veristablium. Now, I know that these boys are not plant tubers, but they make beautiful educational content and I love watching their videos. Though I suppose technically Duke from the Vatican is from Australia originally, so I suppose by default then, Michael Stevens from Vsauce is the one who I would love to collaborate. Now Michael, I'm sure you're not watching this video, but if you are and you'd love to do a collaboration, I am in.
Question 15. In-store plant shopping or online?
I haven't had a lot of experience with shopping online for plants, but I have had a little bit, and from my little experience so far, I do prefer going to the nursery in person. I just get a lot more pick in the exact specimen that I pick up. There may not be as much range, but I find that the quality of plants that I'm getting is greater. There is, however, a local online seed retailer which I go through for my seeds, the Seed Collective. They're based in Victoria as well, and I love going through them for any seeds that I'm buying.
Question 16. What videos do you like more? Houseplant tours or repottings?
I'll be honest, I really enjoy having repotting conversational videos going in the background while I'm just pottering around the house, whether it be making my coffee in the morning, whether it be doing housework. I really enjoy just having that conversation going on in the background. So my preference, I suppose, therefore, is houseplant repotting.
Question number 17. There is a zombie apocalypse. What's the first plant you'd grab?
That is a great question. The almost ready to harvest potatoes in my yard would be my pick now. Of course, that is maybe an unusual answer to this question, but let's be honest, if you had to go into a zombie apocalyptic situation, you want to be able to produce as much high carbohydrate food as you possibly can, and potatoes are the way that I'm going to be able to do that. I'm here to survive the zombie apocalypse.
Question number 18. How many plants do you own right now?
That's a great question. I am not sure off the top of my head, so get ready for the fastest plant tour you have ever seen. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to be counting house plants. Now, by that I mean a plant that is in its own container that is kept permanently indoors. Let's get to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yes, this is our live Christmas tree, which is still inside, even though it is nearly the end of January. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. A cat attacked this at some point. It's recovering. 35, 36, looking a little sick. 37 is recovering. 38, 39, 40. And there you have it.
Question number 19. Any big plans for your channel in 2020?
Of course I do. First of all, I'm going to be trying to put out weekly videos, which is a little bit different to what I've been doing in the past. And so far I have managed throughout January, and some weeks you may even get bonus videos. I've also got some collaborative ideas in the pipeline, and there might be something coming up around mid-year. I'm not going to say any more in case it doesn't happen, but I've got some plans in the works and I am excited.
Question 20, because I forgot to ask you this question earlier and we are now in post-production and we didn't answer it. First person to come to mind that you trust the most in the plant community.
So yeah, sorry to throw this in at the end of the video. The person who comes to mind first is Pam from Pam's Pretty Plants. Pam has been a real figure of guidance for me and has introduced me to a bunch of fantastic people and has answered any and all of my questions that I throw at her about doing what we do here on YouTube. Pam, I'm really thankful for you. Thank you very much for who you are and what you do.
Well, that's the last question. I suppose I'd better tag someone. Would you like to do that?
My pleasure. I'm tagging Svetlana from Firefly in the Room and Brad from What the Flock Farm.
There you go. Enjoy. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you have enjoyed it. It's a little bit different to usual, but I hope that you still had fun here. Thank you very much, Stacia from I Soiled My Planties for tagging me in this video, and thank you, Nicole from My Clean Leads for starting this tag. It's been fun. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree.